G'day watchers, welcome to Perth Watch, your horology channel broadcasting from right here in Perth, Western Australia. Today I have a piece from Breitling and this is absolutely gorgeous. I don't have the full box here. I do have this travel case that comes with the watch when you buy it, you know, kind of nice felty type of touch, suede if you will. In here is the piece and just quickly warranty card and quick start manual. This is just a fold out. I'm not going to show you that because it really is just a bit of a quick start guide. There doesn't have the full things, and then spare links which I've removed to fit my wrist. But let's just get straight into the piece. So here we have the absolutely gorgeous Chronomat B01 42 B01 42. I'm going to put the full model number down the bottom here because it is quite a mouthful. I'm not going to say it all out. Now this is of course the two-tone version with the sunburst blue dial. This watch does come in various other color combinations as you would expect. It does come in steel and black, steel and blue, also two-tone in other variations, and I think it also comes in all go versions. But check out the Breitling website for the rest of the combinations if you wish. I'm going to put links down the bottom. In terms of MSRP, because this is the gold version, it is going to be of course more expensive than the base steel, 12,100 USD. This is the full MSRP. Of course, I think for Breitling you don't actually have to pay that. Go and bargain with your dealer or whatnot. If you are going to get this piece, I think nobody really has to pay full MSRP for Breitling these days. Okay, so moving firstly to the movement. So I think before I start talking about this, I'm just going to start the chronograph. You can see the center seconds counting away there. So I'm just going to start this because later on I'm going to reset it and let you see live how these kind of swings back into the reset position. Okay, so this is manufacturer B01. Okay, it is a column wheel actuated vertical clutch chronograph with a tri-complex layout. That's really what this is. I think this is well recognized now. The movement is probably, I think it's more than 10 years old now, but good on Breitling for going to the manufacturer chronograph movement. So full 28,800 speed, 47 joules, and a very nice 70-hour power reserve, which means that you can keep this running over a weekend. If you don't wear it and you want to take it off on Friday and put it back on Monday, it should still be running. In terms of other features, right, it does hand wind, it does hack, it does have an instantaneous date change, and in this case they've moved it to the 6 o'clock position as opposed to I think a 4:30 position in the previous Chronobat, and I don't mind that at all. In fact, I probably prefer a 6 o'clock rather than a 4:30 myself because I am a southpaw. I wear it on the right hand. It is cost certified, and in actual use this is running well within the specifications. It's running +2 seconds per day in the roughly 3 weeks that I have had this running non-stop. So excellent accuracy, I have to say. Right, moving on to the case now. So this is a 42 case, right? They say 42. Now, in actual fact, the bezel, as I measure with calipers, just the bezel itself, 42.5 millimeters. It is 15.3 millimeters thick, 22 millimeter lug width, which on this, case size is absolutely fine. But you can see that bracelet has a bit of an integrated look to it. So we'll talk about that later. Lug to lug width between my thumbnails is 50 millimeters and overall weight 193 grams. Okay, finishing. Right, long brush on the top, the long brush on the sides. It does have a kind of a matte, slightly, matte sandblasted type of finish down the bottom, if you will, which is pretty nice. Polished top and bottom bezels at the sides here. So top bezel, bevel, top bevel, bottom bevel. You can hopefully appreciate that. And a very nice and solid crown guard section, which has mixed finish, polish as well as, kind of brush finishes. Very solid looking there, but not over the top, which is really the theme of this entire Chronomat. Really, it's solid, but not over the top, much less over the top than the previous model, if you will. In terms of the case back, it does have a polished finish there with some details around the periphery and a display in the middle. So polished screw-in display case back. It's got 18 karat gold, rose gold, right? So this is a rose gold two-tone here. Both the pushers as well as that oversized, kind of onion, I suppose. I don't know what you call that crown. Very nicely done. Screw-in fat crown with gold pushers. The overall water rating of this watch is 200 meters, a full diver's type 200 meters, because, do unidirectional bezel, it can serve as a dive style type of watch. Okay, moving on to this dial now, which, has so many details. This is a blue sunburst dial. It has applied rose gold indices are in all 12 positions, even the truncated indices in the 3, 6, and 9. There is a bit of rose gold in those positions as well. It's got a rose gold on the logo, the Breitling logo at the 12 o'clock position. It's got recessed tri-complex registers. Okay, the registers are slightly recessed, those sub-dials. It's got a circular azurage type pattern, if you will. And it's got an outer chapter ring with quarter-second divisions, and that's perfectly fine. I don't want 1/5 divisions on the 28-800 movement, which is 8 Hertz. Quarter seconds absolutely makes sense in this movement. It's got a red hundredths point scale on the flange, and that's might be difficult to see here, but hopefully you can spot it. And if you know how that functions, let me know. I'm not 100% sure on that. And it's got the tachymeter scale on the outer side of the flange there, and that's much more visible in that white print there. In terms of the hands, polished rose gold baton main hands and sub-dial hands. They're all baton type hands. The central chronograph, of course, is a red arrow, and it's got a very, very nicely done counterbalance in that Breitling B logo there, as they do in many of their chronographs. Lume on all 6 of these hands, as well as all 12 indices and the bezel pip. Lume shot right here, of course, for you guys to appreciate how this looks in the dark. And it, of course, grows absolutely fine through the night. Good quality Lume application, even though it's not the widest indices in the world. Okay, moving on to the bezel then. So this is a unidirectional rose gold bezel with signature Breitling Chronomat rider tabs. So these kind of 4 rider tabs here. At the moment it's of course configured in a count up, but this is famous for being able to unscrew the 15 and the 45 and swap them around, and then it can become a countdown bezel if you want to do that. I've not seen anyone do that personally, and then certainly I wouldn't. I would just leave it in here, but let me know if you actually would change that around. Now let's listen to it. Quite solid and quite simple in terms of the clicks are not over the top. Okay, that's 10 clicks, so it's a 120 click unidirectional dive style type of bezel. Okay, so let's just take it back to the original position here. The crystal on top of the dial here is a nicely gently domed sapphire. So a gentle dome here, not too much distortion here. Of course, it's got double anti-reflective coating on it, and it works pretty well. That's really how this finishes the watch off. Okay, in terms of chronograph function, you can see how it's counting away, and of course it's got the hour counters at the 6 o'clock and the minute counters at the 3 o'clock there, running seconds on the 9 o'clock. It's been counting for a while now. Okay, you can see that. So you can see the hands have moved on. I'm going to stop it, and I'm just going to move that hour hand back a bit, the main hour hand, so you can see, right, you can see that hour marker. I'm just going to reset that minute marker. You can see how it springs back. Okay, that's the chronograph function. Just going to start it again, so it's running for the rest of the review here. And I have to say, the crown function is also very smooth, right? It's a pleasure to unscrew, adjust, as well as hand wind. If you like to hand wind this watch now and then, for example, if you've left it sitting for a while. Moving on to the bracelet then. Okay, so this bracelet is, again, so many good things about this watch. This is the iconic Rouleaux bracelet, which, in my understanding was something that came out in the past, and they've kind of revived this because for a long time, they'd gone to different type of bracelets, including the Chronometer that I previously reviewed. They had that kind of navy timer offset style bracelet. They've kind of revived this, and it is very well done, I have to say. Look at the machination, look at the finishing on the back there. Really, it does feel that they've just gone all out to make this excellent. So it's brushed with polished bevels, right? These kind of bullet style shapes, right? There's a polished bevel. Hopefully that's appreciable there. Not sure if it's going to come through, but I know the ends here, there's a polished bit, as well as those alternating rose gold highlights there, which are obviously polished. Very, very nicely done, I have to say. It tapers from 22 to 20, but you can see at the case, it widens up in that second to last link, the penultimate link there. And it you know, as close to integrated as it gets without actually being integrated, right? There is a spring bar there, you can remove it, so you can, you know, swap it out, whatever, put a leather strap, etc. But as close to integrated as you can get without being truly integrated, like a Royal Oak or whatever else examples you can think of, right? It is collar and pin secured, but it's not as simple as it looks, right? So it gives that illusion that every single thing moves here, but actually it's only every second, you know, kind of bullet shape here that is linked. So, you know, in between, it is actually stiff. Hopefully, you know, I can kind of let you see that there, right? So there's no movement there, but there's a movement where that pin hole is. But the overall effect is a very smooth looking thing. Pin and collar adjustment, I'll try to put a picture, you know, of how it looks like, you know, on the right of screen here, if I can find any online, or take one myself, okay? But it's very nicely done, right? It feels very solid and very positive when you remove it and click it back in. It doesn't feel loose at all, and it does have a more premium feel than, say, for example, Seiko divers, I have to say. It does come with a butterfly clasp, which many people will absolutely dislike, of course. You know, no micro adjustment, but there is a half link in here. As you can see, this particular link, right? There's two direct pinholes here, so that is actually just a single bullet that you can remove if you need to micro adjust this, you know, to within 2.5 millimeters, I think, roughly. And I think that would suit most people. Okay, so that's the entire description, guys. Let's just snap it on the wrist now for a quick wrist shot. So, you know, there we go. Remember, 42.5 millimeters on the bezel width here. It is 15.3 thick, so no doubt it absolutely has wrist presence, and certainly it is quite heavy at 193 grams with a few links adjusted. You're not going to forget this. It is absolutely a very substantial watch on the wrist. You know, gold being more dense as well will make this heavier than the steel model. And look at that absolutely gorgeous Rouleaux bracelet there. Okay, so that's the wrist shot. So guys, so much to say about this watch. You know, what are the things I can say about it? Look, one of the most recognizable chronographs around, right? Absolutely, the Breitling Chronograph Chronomat with the rider tabs, right? It really is a standout. And this Rouleaux bracelet, you know, adds to it. Overall, it just looks great. It looks fantastic. And the way this bracelet allows it to sit, you know, on the table, you know, I think it's probably the best looking watch just sitting on the table, because, you know, the way it holds it up, it's just badass, right? It's got just confidence, you know, if you like that look. You know, it's a small thing, but it makes a difference, right? It's just something that people will notice, or at least users like me will notice, right? The current CEO, he's kind of taken the Breitling designs a notch down. You know, like previously it would be 10 out of 10 over the top. I think he's toned it down to about a 7 out of 10. It is still very bold, but very tempered, right? You know, in comparison with the previous Chronomat, I'll just put a side-by-side pic here from online. You know, this is definitely very toned down, yet it is unmistakable still. It is absolutely lovely. I think it's got a fantastic bracelet, right? This Rouleaux is really well done. It's got this integrated illusion here. It's got superb attention to detail as well, you know, all over, really. You know, the bezel feels great. The dial has so much into it. Everywhere they've paid attention, and the features are just great. You know, it's got that chapter ring, those tachymeter rings, and overall finishing, of course, great. You know, absolutely great quality finishing, equal to anything at this 5-figure price, I would say. You know, those Bezel screws are very finely done, right around the side here. The crown, the pushes, the entire feel of this is great. And on top of that, you're getting a COSC in-house manufacture, column wheel, vertical crutch chronograph with a 70-hour reserve. Like, look, it's not the best movement in the world. It's not the best chronograph movement in the world even. You could argue what that is, but it is, of course, excellent, and you're getting that in this Chronomat. Are there any weaknesses to a watch like this? Look, of course, yes, I think the concerns are it is very top heavy, right? 193 grams with most of it in the case is definitely a very top heavy feel, and not everybody likes that. If you're going to change this to rubber, it's going to be even more top heavy. The thickness, the size, you know, a lot of people do think these watches wear larger than 42, most 42 watches. I think on the wrist, the look actually looks fine. It's the fact that it feels, you know, substantial. That's the thing that's going to make people really feel this, and not everybody likes that. And this ostentatious polish, right? Breitling bling, some people call that. This precludes it from absolutely being broadly versatile, right? You may not want to wear this, you know, everywhere. You may not want to, you know, it's not acceptable in absolutely formal occasions, even though it's an absolutely luxury watch. And you may not want to wear just at the beach either because of, you know, how, you know, blingy it really is. So let me know if you do that, where you wear your Breitling. If you have a Breitling with that much bling, I would love to hear how people find this and the appeal of this. And then lastly, to say, very, you know, slightly disappointing that it's a butterfly. You know, a lot of people don't like it. It doesn't have any micro adjustment. It just feels a bit too generic for a watch at this price. You would feel that you might have something a little bit more custom, a little bit more unique, maybe with some micro adjust capability. But let me know again what you think about that. So there you go, guys. My thoughts on this watch. Look, I really think it's excellent. It's got so much going for it. But, you know, a little few niggles from being absolutely everyone's watch. Let me know your thoughts below. Look forward to the conversation about this. Guys, thank you again so much for sticking with me. As always, I'll catch you next time.